So I did a video about 9/11, but as I was posting it up onto my website, some more thoughts came to my head, and so I want to do a follow-up video regarding September the 11th. Nobody really talks about 9/11 as much anymore. Of course, when 9/11 was fresh in our collective memories, it was a huge focal point within uh, societal conversation and political discourse in the United States. And as I said in my prior video, I never felt a more united America than within the subsequent months after the September 11th attacks. I don't think I've ever felt a more united America. And even when ISIS was killing people, we weren't really that united. And the thing is that 9/11 became the rallying point for the Iraq War. It became the rallying point for the invasion of Iraq. And that war destabilized the whole country, and it destabilized a substantial amount of the Middle East. The destabilization, the chaos boiled over into Syria. And that civil war led to anarchy in most of that country, to the point where we were seeing people being mass executed. We were seeing people being burned alive, hung up from meat hooks. It was absolutely horrific. But it was the result of America's destructive foreign policy. And that violence, that chaos, that conflict led to the migrant situation in 2015, in which you had 1 million people from Iraq and from Syria trying to enter the European Union. And a lot of them settled in Europe, mainly Germany. This migrant crisis led to the rise of far-right nationalism within the European Union, in Germany, in Belgium, specifically in the area of Flanders, in the Netherlands, in Spain, in Sweden. We saw all of these parties, ultranationalist parties, gain prominent positions in parliament. And really, it's quite amazing. All of this can be traced back to the 9/11 attacks. 9/11 changed the world. 9/11 changed the political atmosphere of the world, because it led to the Iraq War, which led to the civil war in Syria, which really accelerated into the migrant crisis, and that led to the rise of ultranationalism in Europe, which led to Brexit. And Brexit, meaning Britain no longer being in the EU, has been used ever since 2016 by the Germans to justify the idea of a pan-European military force led by Germany, because it was the British that were the biggest impediment to Germany and France forming a European army, forming an EU military force. Now, with the British gone, the Germans are taking the helm. And they're talking more and more about becoming an international leader. Now you have Germans talking about being able to send their navy into Asia within 24 hours or in 24 hours. We're seeing Germany talking about militarism. We're seeing Germany getting speaking more and more rhetoric in favor for militarism, in favor for Germany reviving its military power. It's unprecedented. But here's the thing, is nobody really cares. Just like almost nobody cares about 9/11 anymore. And what's dangerous about this is that it's an indication of a couple of things. One, it's an indication of our short attention spans. We don't care about 9/11 just like we don't care about Pearl Harbor. But here's the thing. What caused Pearl Harbor? Japanese fanaticism, Japanese nationalist fanaticism. What caused 9/11? more fanaticism, Islamic fanaticism. But we don't care about those things as much anymore. We don't care about what caused 9/11. We don't care about what caused Pearl Harbor. So what does this mean? What it means is that we don't really pay attention to ideological dangers that are rising in the world. We don't care so much about the rise of nationalism in Europe. We don't care about these things until it flies into our faces. The Japanese worshipped their emperor. The Germans worshipped their Führer. But Americans didn't care about these things until it became a threat to America's existence. It's the same thing today. We don't care about the rising ideological phenomena that we're seeing, be it in Europe, be it in Turkey. We see Turkey as this necessary ally to fight against the Russians, but we're not talking about the dangers of Turkish nationalism. We see Japan as a proxy against the Chinese, but we're not talking about the dangers of Japanese nationalism. We're supporting the Ukrainians and giving them weapons and tons of supplies, but we're not talking about the fact that in Ukraine there is a huge collective ideological nationalism that reveres Nazi collaborators. We don't care about the rise of dangerous ideologies until it flies into our faces. And then after a few years, we don't care about that anymore. Just like we don't care about 9/11. Anyway, you guys just heard some theology. God bless.